Hello and welcome to another episode of Summer Fanfic Reading. Today we are going to be starting a venture into a fanfic titled Tokyo Mew Mew No Hope Left by XXX Kawaii Bloody Goth X. Author's note. Okay, this is my first chapter, no flammin' or trollin', cause I'll report you if you do, so be nice please. Minto is such a biatch. End author's note. Hello, my name is Aizawa Sakura. I live in a big house in Tokyo, and I have long hair and green eyes, and I wear fishnet pantyhose, and I have an older twin sister named Minto. This is my story. I was at school. I go to a public junior high. Minto goes to a really fancy one, but that's because my parents always thought she was better. She was the one who got to go to ballet classes, but they didn't send me even though I was really good because they needed someone at home to waz the dishes. I remember crying myself to sleep every night because my sister was just so mean to me. She did everything she could to make life hard for me, from spilling her drinks on my lap to stealing my first boyfriend. This morning, I looked in the mirror. I saw a small, thin girl with large magenta eyes, pale skin, a medium-sized chest, and leg-length black hair with Ao and Pinku streaks. I was born with them, but everyone thought I was a freak and hated me. I was so ugly, I could feel myself beginning to cry, but I held it back. I'd always held it back. I pulled on my uniform, which was too small. It was a gray sailor fugu with a red bow, but the skirt was way too short, and the blouse was way too tight. I waved goodbye to my parents, who paid no attention to me. They were too busy helping Minto put on her makeup and comb her hair and put on her dark blue uniform. She smirked at me. I looked away and walked out the door, squeezing my eyes shut so I wouldn't cry. As I walked to school, I saw my best friend, Momomiya Ichigo. I waved to her and began to run toward her, but I slipped on a puddle, and I got covered in mud. Ichigo laughed meanly. "Sakura, you can't think that I want to walk to school with you," she said, tossing her dark pinku pigtails. "I have new friends." Just then, I noticed two stupid-looking, giggling blonde girls. "Like, hi, Ichigo-chan," said one of them, putting on lots of slutty pink lipstick. "Hi, Lindsay," said Ichigo. "Look at that little dork in the mud. She thought I wanted to walk to school with her. See, that's Lindsay, lol. When she reads this, she'll be P.O.'d. They laughed and began to walk off to school. I burst into tears. I tried to hold it in, but I couldn't. I wiped the tears off my pale face and stood up, knowing that I'd get in trouble for being muddy. When I got to school, the teacher told me that I had to stay for detention. I nodded, not saying anything. The teacher gave me an extra hour of detention for not being respectful. He handed out the grades. I saw that I got an A. Then he saw who I was. He crossed out the A and replaced it with an F. I turned my head away to hide the tears. During recess, I saw Ichigo talking to Aomiya Masaya, a tan jock from the Tendo team. I think she was asking him out. It made sense. The jocks and the preps just went together. I, however, never saw anything in him. He was really stupid, and he picked on goths and emos, but once I loved him. I was young, and I confessed my love to him, but he turned me down and went out with a stupid blonde girl instead. I'd cried so hard, but it also helped me realize something. He wasn't worth it. He was cruel and superficial, and that wasn't what I wanted. I sighed and sat down in a corner without any people. I had only one friend. Her name was Haruko. Author's note. See here, you are, sis! And author's note. She had soft white hair which went down to her ankles. She didn't dress in a uniform. Because she was half demon, so she wore a loose kimono which fell almost off of her shoulders. She smiled. "What's wrong, Sakura-chan?" "I've had a terrible day. Why does everyone like Minto better than me?" I sobbed. "Because she's a prep, and she's popular. But you're better. Deep down, you're smarter than her any day." I looked at Haruko. "How can I be so sure?" End Chapter 1. Chapter 2. The next day was Sunday, so I was able to dress like myself. I put on a black miniskirt and fishnet thigh-highs. Author's note. Got ones leg tat and hot totic. And author's note. I put on a black tube top with a leather jacket over it. I put skull earrings in my ears and blue lipstick and a black tube top. I pulled on knee-high boots. I closed my golden eyes for a second and put on a lot of mascara, but not enough to look like a slutty prep. I came downstairs for breakfast, but everybody had already finished. Minto laughed. Sakura, you look so stupid, like a goth. Author's note. I don't think goths look stupid, okay? And author's note. Well, you look stupid, like a stupid prep, I said calmly. Minto gasped. I'm going to tell our parents, and you'll get in trouble! She ran upstairs to tell our parents. I shrugged. I walked out the door because I knew my parents would get really mad. I went to the park because it was so noisy in town, and my parents might find me there. Then I would be in trouble. But as I stumbled into the park, I was surrounded by a strange light. End chapter 2. Chapter 3. I was in a bright place, and I think I was naked, but the light was all funny and it was dark. Then 3 animals walked up to me. First, there was a big white bear. It roared and leapt at me. I welcomed death, but nothing happened. I realized that it had jumped into me. I felt weird and happy. Then there was a wolf. It howled furiously and ran at me. Maybe this one was going to kill me. I didn't care. But this one jumped into me too, and I had a strange, powerful feeling. Then, last, there was a cat. I realized that its tail was forked into 2 sides. It jumped into me too, and I figured that had to be the end of it. I woke up, feeling over my face. It was normal. I stood up. That dream must have meant something, but I was confused. What could it have meant? I felt tears coming to my eyes, and I fell to my knees and cried. End chapter 3. Looking up. Chapter 4. Author's note. OMG, I was hacked! Some troll hacked me account! I didn't want Bill Clinton. I posted it normal, and then Bill Clinton was in. Whoever you are, you suck. I hate you. Die. End author's note. I must have cried for a long time, for when I finally straightened up, the sun was beginning to set. I was scared to go home. I didn't know what my parents might do to me now that Minto was so angry. I decided I would sleep in the park tonight. Author's note. Can't work tease in, but there were frackin' hackers there, and she killed them! End author's note. When I woke up that morning, I expected to see trees and bushes, but instead, I saw a very pink-looking room. There were 2 guys there, and they were hot. Who are you? What's wrong? Said one of them. He had these very blue eyes, like mine, and dark skin and blonde hair, but he wasn't a prep. I could tell by his black clothes. Author's note. It's Rio! I love him! Exclamation point, end author's note. My name is Sakura, I said, blushing. Oh, said the blonde. My name is Shirogane Rio. Are you lost? Yes, I said. I was lost in a way. My family hated me, and I had no friends in the whole world. I am lost. Very lost. The other guy had a ponytail, and he was kind of stupid looking. Author's note. She thinks he's stupid because she's got her, and goths are like that. And author's note. I know, he said. You can live with us. I was so happy! I was going to live with 2 hot guys, away from Minto and my horrible parents. They showed me my room in the loft above the restaurant and told me to wait there. Rio came up a minute later with a little maid costume. It was Pinku and Ao and Akai. He said that to pay rent, I would work in the restaurant. It was hard working at the restaurant. Almost everyone who came there were preps. Sometimes Ichigo came. She worked here too, but she always lazed around. One day, Akasaka-san came up to me and told me a secret. Sakura-chan, we think you're the second Mew Mew. What? I asked Akasaka-san. What's a Mew Mew? He smiled. They're part of a special project. We need your help to fight aliens that is invading the Earth. You need this amulet to help. He handed me a special golden amulet. Kiss the amulet, and you'll become a Maho Shoujo. Really? I gasped. How come it's me? Am I really that special? Yes, you are. Aizawa Sakura-chan, he said. Now kiss your pendant. I kissed the pendant, and though without knowing it, I said, Mew Mew, Black Cherry, Metamorphose! And I span around really fast, and I was in a Kuro and Pinku and Awu dress with thigh-high boots and a little lacy garter on my leg and wolf ears and tail. What is this? I said, very angry. You're a Mew Mew, he said happily. Ichigo is one too, and she's finding all the other ones. But you're amazing! I wonder if the other Mews have such amazing power. But why? I don't want any amazing power. It won't help. I'll still be hated, I said, beginning to cry. Why couldn't the power have gone to somebody else? Somebody loved. But you are loved, Sakura-chan, said Akakasaka-san. What do you mean? I said, blushing through the tears. Akakasaka-san blushed back and turned away. Nothing, he said. Nothing at all. Author's note. See, he's blushing because he likes her. Heart. End author's note. It was a horrible day when I came downstairs that morning. Minto was there, and she was wearing a stupid blue maid dress, and she was smirking and drinking tea. What are you doing here? I yelled angrily. I'm a Mew Mew, she said, smirking. I turned to Rio, and I could tell that I was starting to cry. Rio-kun, why did you let her here? I said sadly. Rio looked helplessly at me. She's a Mew Mew. She's Mew Mew Mint. I knew that it was true, but I couldn't help it. I burst into tears, and I started to cry. Rio looked at me, and I could tell that he was worried. Then, before I knew it, he pulled me into a kiss. It was the happiest I'd ever been. Minto was looking at me hatefully. I could tell what was going on in her cruel mind. I had to protect Rio. And Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Red Tatsu bumped into me and knocked over the glass of alcohol mixed with cherries I was carrying. I tried to work with goth and emo customers, but there weren't many of them. The cafe was so pinku that goths didn't want to come. But today, I was bringing something to a cool goth girl. That's author's note. That's you, Anne-Marie. See? You're cool. Come to the party. And author's note. In a skinny jeans with a belt with a skull on it and a black tube top and long black hair with purple streaks and sharp green eyes. No, Red Tatsu, I said, and Red Tatsu hadn't spilled anything on herself, and she just spilled my stuff. The call goth said, it's no problem, I don't mind. And I said, thanks, I like your belt. And she said, I like yours too, Michelle. On the way home, I was crying, and my eyeliner and mascara was running. I saw Minto kissing Rio, and he didn't notice me, but she did, and she kissed him more. But when I tried to talk to him about it, she said he was busy and laughed all mean. Then, the next day, I was at school, and Aikigo was standing in the cafeteria line, and she was wearing a slutty halter top with sexy on the bobs and short skirts and a sparkly pinku knockoff Posier Converses and a halter top. She was talking with Aoyama-kun, her stupid boyfriend. Mizie-kun, I'm dumping you, she said sluttily. He said, I don't care. I've been in love with someone else. I was really startled because he was in love with her for a long time, so I went to tell Haruko-chan. What's wrong, Sakura-chan? She asked wizenedly. Haruko-chan, Inigo and Aoyama are breaking up! Yes, I saw them breaking up in the lunchroom. I didn't see it, but I was crying. Really? I knew they'd be breaking up soon, Haruko said sadly. Really? How so? I said sadly too. Because Aoyama likes you, said Haruko Seri surprisedly. What? I said. And Chapter 5. Chapter 6. I was walking home from school in my black gothic Lolita dress with purple lace, and it was really low cut and showed my boobs, which were triple D cup and really big. I was wearing a maid headdress because that was what I wore with my work uniform and sexy fishnet thigh-high socks, which almost re-iced the skirt, but didn't quite because it was really, really short and sexy, so you could see my garters. I was wearing 8-inch hells with skulls on them, and a black lacy thong which showed sometimes because it was windy. The dress had sleeves which were like sleeves on a kimono. It had a corset on top with purple and red lace. My hair was down behind me, and it was blowing in the wind. I was walking, and I saw Ichigo. She looked very sad. Ichigo! I said. Ichigo was my friend, so I couldn't not try to be friends with her. What is it? She said, sulking. She was wearing a curled lace halter top and a miniskirt from Hot Topic, which didn't look preppy at all. Her neck ears were showing. I saw you and Ioma breaking up, I said very sympathetically. Really? She said, crying in tears. Yes, and he's a jerkcake, I said. I knew that because he liked me, but I didn't like him back, and he knew it, so he shouldn't dump his girlfriend for that. He likes me, but I don't like him because he's a pervert. Oh, said Inigo. Really? Yes, I said sadly, but I like someone else. Who do you like? Said Ichigo happily. My pale white skin turned red, and I cast my amber eyes downward. There were tears in my eyes, and I remember seeing Ryo kissing Minto. I can't say that. Oh, she said. It's fine. I'm really shy too. Arigato, I said thankfully. See you at work, said Ichigo. I was so happy that I had made her feel better. But on the way back, I saw someone on top of a building. They jumped down on me and we made out. It was a really hot guy with big ears and green pigtails. Author's note. Yay! Kiss you, yay! He's so kawaii and I love him. And author's note. He said, I've been watching you, Neko-chan. Author's note. 'Cause she's a cat too, remember? And author's note, he said, his eyes were like molten gold, and his skin was pale and cool as the moon at midnight, and his hair shone like the grass and trees, which I could not enjoy. I blushed a deepest scarlet crimson, and my pale face turned bright red. Who are you? He said. I've been watching you, and I think I love you. Oh no! Another person had fallen in love with me, and I didn't love him! What should I say? I'm sorry, but I'm in love with someone else. Kishu said, then I'll kill him. Tears began to rise to my eyes. Don't kill Ryo, he said, but if I don't, you won't love me. I was so freaked out that I ran away, and my skirt was flapping a lot, and my underwear that said kawaii on the back showed. But you are so kirei, he said sexily, but I was far away by then. At work I was blushing a lot, and some dude who was a pervert said, you're really kawaii, come sit over here. I said, no, baka! And I beat him up, and there was blood everywhere. He was wearing a yellow polo shirt and khaki pants. Ryo walked up to me. I straightened out my hair, which I'd put in a really messy ponytail because I was in a hurry. Hi, Ryo, I said, blushing. Hello, Sakura-chan, he said hotly. I'm sorry about the other day. Minto kissed me, and I didn't want to kiss her, but she kissed me anyway. It wasn't even a good kiss. She's a terrible kisser. I know she likes me, but I like you, so I'm not going to fall in love with her. She's a biff. I was still mad at him, though. Ryo, I don't believe you! You're just saying that because you want both of us to be in love with you, and you think that I'm easy just because I'm a goth. I slapped him really hard, and there was a mark on his face, and I stomped upstairs to my room. My room had Evanescence posters all over the wall and Bill Collins. I put on my headphones and listened to MCR. I let myself drown in Gerard Way's beautiful voice. But my dreaming was ruined by a prep knocking on the door. She opened it. She was blonde and wearing an ugly pink polo shirt and ugly black leggings and a neat preppy ponytail and looked really slutty. I gasped and realized it was Lindsay! What are you doing here, prep? I said, tossing my long black hair. Is that an iPod Touch? She said sluttily. Yes, so what? Do you have any Justin Bieber on it? Or Hannah Montana? Or Britney Spears? She said properly. I said, no, Justin Bieber's a fag, and Britney Spears and Hannah Montana are stupid sluts. They should die. You're a slut, she said stupidly, and pointed her finger, which had too much badly done pink nail polish on it. What? I said, you're the slut. Look at your leggings. They show your whole fucking ass. That's it, she said, and she attacked me and started pulling my hair and scratching me. Then Akasaka-san came in. Why are you attacking Michelle? He said, and he started crying and pulled her off of me and held my face really close to his and said, Are you okay, Sakura-chan? Yes, I said, blushing. Good, he said, blushing back. And I left the room, my mind full of strange things, and my thoughts racing with the events of the day. End chapter 6. Chapter 7. Author's note. I worked on misspelling, Kay. You don't have to say I have bad spelling. It's just quicker to write this way. End author's note. The next morning, I woke up. I was wearing my pajamas, which were a black lacy camisole and lacy panties. I yawned sexily and stretched. I got out of bed and put on a lacy black tube top and leather-tight pants and a sexy collar with spikes on it. My hair was so long that it was almost to my knees now. I put on black eyeliner really thick and loads of red eyeshadow. My lipstick was a deep, dark blue. I went out of the cafe, which had become my home, and walked outside into the bright sunlight, which I loathed. Rio stared longingly as I left, his bright blue eyes shimmering like the stars in the midnight sky. At Skull, there were preps making out in the hallways. One of them was fat, and the other one was wearing Bermuda shorts. I gave them the finger, and the fat one ran away screaming that I was sick. I laughed and said sarcastic things at her, and she looked really stupid. Haruko was in the classroom. Her white kimono was really short, and she looked much more gothic than the preps in the hallway. "Hello, Sakura-chan," she said. "Hello, Haruka-chan. I wish that Rio would love me again," I said sadly. But just then, Kishu came! He said very gothically, "Sakura-chan, Daisuki, I want you to stay with me on the alien's home planet. We can live there forever." I started to cry. Haruko was gone because she had left very soon after Kishu had come in through the window, which was right next to my desk. It had Nightmare Before Christmas stickers on it. It scared the preps who had Hello Kitty stickers on there. They were really stupid-y. I ran out of the classroom crying. Kishu tried to follow me, but he got shot in the leg by my stupid fat teacher, Mr. Davidson, who had come into the classroom to talk about stupid things like George Bush and shit. I didn't see because I was crying. A prep pointed at me. "Look at her red eyeshadow, ew! And she likes goth bands and not pink. Why does she just like Justin Bieber and Britney Spears and prep singers? I hate her. She's so stupid and ugly. Why doesn't she just die? Because goth should die. That's what they want to do. And she likes Amy Lee," she said stupidly in a high-pitched preppy voice. I cried even harder. Nobody loved me! Why did it have to be this way? I ran into the girls' bathroom and slammed the door behind me. Rio was so sexy and gothic, but somehow I liked Kishu as well. Akakasaka-san was always blushing. Maybe he liked someone. I hoped I could come help him. Then, Iotama-kun came! He was wearing a stupid brown polo shirt with prep written on it, and he walked through the door. "Sakura-san, I have a confession to make," he said properly. "Go away, prevert," I said. "Sakura, I love you, date me," he said, blushing in his stupid girl voice. "No," I said, and I punched him in the head and knocked him out. I ran into a bathroom stall, tears running down my face. Why did it have to be this way? I didn't want Akiyama to love me. He was a prep. I ran my fingernails down my arms, stressful. They were stained with crimson regret. I licked a bit from my fingers sexily and cried more. Why did life have to be this way? It was me against the world. I really wished that somebody would come to save me from the agony I was going under. I might almost die, but they would bring me to life. They'd be my immortal and never die. But I knew for now that I'm not okay. There was sadness all around me. End chapter 7. Chapter 8. I woke up hours later, crimson blood still staining my alabaster member. I rubbed my eyes. Mascara came off on my hands. I got out of the bathroom, and preps made fun of me. "Look at that gothic strumpet! She's so icky, and she hates Justin Bieber just because he looks like a girl and is not evanescent," said a smelly prep with zips and an afro. He had a bit nose with a band-aid on it. I cried, and mascara and eyeliner ran down my face. Then Haruko-chan came screaming. "Sakura-chan! Sakura-chan!" she cried, black eyeliner running down her ivory skin as well. "Rio is hurt." Oh, okay. Wow, how'd that happen? Okay. Sorry, just a moment. I have to go find the chapter. Rio-chan is hurt. Okay, here. "Rio is hurt! He tried to kill himself with a knife gun and razor because you didn't love him!" I gasped sexily so that my teeth and tongue and stuff were showing. "Why did he do that?" I said sadly. "I don't know, but you need to go see him. He's in the guy's locker room," she said tearfully. So I went to the tier, and it was full of hot guys, and some of them weren't wearing clothes because there were just guys there, so they didn't have to wear clothes. Ryu was on a bench and there was blood on his pale wrists. "Ryo!" I said, crying. "Why did you do that? You could have died!" "Sakura," he said intensely, "I didn't want to live if you didn't love me. You are the most beautiful girl I know." I was crying, and black mascara was dripping onto Ryo's stomach because he wasn't wearing a shirt, because it was just guys in there, so they were all kinda naked. "No matter what, I've always wanted you to love me even though I am impossible to love," he said dejectedly. "Ryo, I love you! You aren't alone!" I said morosely. "No," he said. "Nobody can love me. I am impossible to love. You must know that." "I can't believe that, Ryo," I said tragically. "How could I not love you?" "Because I am too dark and have a terrible past," he said. "What is your past?" I said mysteriously. "I can't tell you," he said. "Please, please tell me, my love," I said. "I can't. You would hate me," he said. "I must hear it. I will love you still," I said. "No, no, I can't bear to tell it to you. I love you too much," he said. "But I must know," he said. "No, you can't," he said. "Please," I said. "No," he said. "Please," I said. "No," he said. "Please tell me," I said. "I won't," he said. So I ran away crying. What dark secret could Ryo have that he was hiding from me? It couldn't be that bad. He was perfect and beautiful no matter what. Why didn't he want me to know? End chapter 8. Chapter 9. I was walking through school in a sexy new dress form hot topic. It was gothic Lolita like my other one, except this one didn't have straps and it had red lace and fwaz made of black satin and lots of K's, and I had a dark green lipstick and dark blue eyeshadow, and my face was white as the moon. I was wearing thigh-high striped socks with a garter belt made of leather. I also had fishnet arm warmers, and my hair was in 2 pigtails. I was very happy because it was Friday and soon school would not be there for a couple of days. There were lots of guys staring at my boobs, which had gotten bigger, sort of, because I was wearing a really sexy dress. Even preppy guys were staring at my big boobs. "Hey there, Smexy," said a prep in an ugly yellow polo shirt. I ran up to him and ripped his head off by the hair and bashed his chest in with my boots, which had really high heels. They got bloody, so I went to go get changed. But in the girls' bathroom, there was Aoyama, that stupid prep, and he had a zit on his forehead, and he was not wearing a coat, so you could see his ugly shirt, which was made of ugly fabric. "Sakura-chan," he said preppily, "you don't love me, but I love you, so I'll make you love me." And then he kissed me on the mouth. I screamed. He kept on kissing me, so I screamed more. He made out with me, but I was screaming. I kicked him the crotch, but he kept on kissing me, so I ran away, screaming and crying. I ran out of the school, still crying. Haruko-chan was waiting outside, and she looked worried. "Sakura-chan, what's wrong?" she said tragically. "Ayotama kissed me," I said. "Didn't you once love him?" she said. "Yes," I said miserably. "But why don't you want him to kiss you no?" she said. "Because I don't love him. He's a preppy pervert in ugly bad clothes," I sobbed. "Then just tell him that," she said. "But I can't. He kissed me today, even though I didn't want him to. He doesn't care because he's evil," I said sadly. "That's a problem which can wait," said Haruko Zero-chan. She was very smart. "You tell him you love Ryo." "But it won't work," I said. "Well, if you're going to be like that and not take my advice, maybe you can kiss him back. Maybe he just wants to make you feel uncomfortable," she said. "That might work," I said happily. "He is meant like that." "That's good," Haruko smiled, but still sadly. "I want you to be happy." End chapter 9. Chapter 10. I was working at the cafe. I was wearing ripped tights and black booty shorts with a mini tube top. I had my hair in a sexy messy bun. My lipstick was black, and so was my eyeshadow and eyeliner and cell phone and stuff. Inigo was serving customers and food and things like that, and I was taking orders. I would like a glass of blood, said this one guy. He was a vampire and he had 3 belts and sunglasses. He gave me money. I put it in my boobs. Ichigo, he wants blood, I said happily. Ichigo went and got it for him. Then Ryo came, screaming, "The aliens are attacking us!" He said, "We need Mew Black Harry!" So I transformed, and I was in my kiwi dress, which was black and lacy, and I had 1 bear ear and 1 wolf ear, and my tail was forked like a fork cat's. "Where are the aliens?" I said angrily. "Outside," said Ryo tragically. So I went outside, and they were there, and so was Kishu. "Kishu," I said, "are you an alien?" Kishu giggled smexily. "Yes, I am." "WTF!" I said furiously. How could I have not known he was an alien? But Pi was there too, and that meant I had to fight. So I said, "Cherry knife!" and a knife popped up, and I threw it at Pi, and it stabbed him in the head. But he didn't die! Instead, he stabbed me with a laser and knocked me backwards, and my underwear showed and stuff. So I said, "Cherry sword!" and we started sword fighting, and I stabbed him, but he still didn't die. Then he stabbed at me and just barely missed my head. But Kishu came and said, "Stoop!" "Why did you say stop?" said Pi angrily. "Because I love her," said Kishu, and he started fighting Pi. "Run away, Sakura-chan," he said, so I ran away. Later that day, I was sitting in my dark room above the cafe. The walls were painted black. I was crying, and I turned on sad music. I painted my tails black. My ears and stuff had gone back in, and I was wearing a black miniskirt and black blouse which showed my shoulders and black and blue lipstick. I was so lonely. Nobody loved me, I think. There were only perverts who probably wanted to rape me or make me do their laundry or something. I was all alone in the world. End chapter 10. Chapter 11. I lay in bed that night in my loft, staring up at the stars through my window. My little room had black walls and posters of Amy Lee. I was in my underwear because I usually slept like that. The underwear was a lacy bra and shorts which had black hearts on it. Sad music was playing on my iPod. I cried a bit. I wasn't wearing any makeup, but my skin was pale white and my lips were dark, dark red. I had very long eyelashes even when I didn't have mascara. I was thinking about death when I heard a knock on my window. Aoyama was knocking in my windows. "GTFO!" I yelled with rage. "Why are you knocking on my window?" Then he broke the window and came inside. "Hi, Sakura," he said properly. "I wanted to know if you wanted to make out." "No, go away," I said, but then he made out with me anyway. I was wearing a dark purple nightgown because that was my pajamas. That made me angry, so I started screaming a lot. Then Kishu came through the window. "Why are you making out with Sakura?" he said. "Because he's a stupid prep," I said so furiously, angrily. "I will kill him, Kishu." And he tried to stab Aoyama, but Aoyama ran away and jumped out of the window. Then Kishu started making out with me. "Stop it, Kishu," I said. "But I love you too much to stop," he said. "You're pissing me off and I want to hit you," I said furiously. "Tough luck," he said, and he kept making out with me. So I kicked him in the crotch. Then Ryo came. "Sakura," he said, "why are you making out with Kishu?" "It's not what it looks like," I said sadly. "I don't want to be doing this." And then Ryo started crying. Akasaka-san came in then, and he started crying. "Ryo was watching Sakura make out with people," he said sadly. "I was in love with Sakura." And I was really, really shocked. And chapter 11. This is the midpoint in the story, so I am now going to take a short break, and in the next episode I will cover the other half, starting with chapter 12, because that is basic math. Alright, thank you for listening, and I shall see you later.